All right, let's get right into it. For centuries, this deck of 78 cards has had this mysterious reputation, right? People mostly see it as a way to peek into the future. But what if that's not its true purpose at all? Today, we're going to explore what the tarot is really for.
I mean, this is the question everyone asks, isn't it? It's the big promise, but also what makes so many people skeptical. Can shuffling these cards actually show you what's coming? Well, what if I told you that according to some of the most important writing on the subject, we've been asking the wrong question this whole time? And there you have it, stated loud and clear almost 100 years ago by the occultist Paul Foster Case. See, his whole point is that the idea of tarot as a fortune-telling game is just plain wrong. It assumes our lives are run by things like luck or fate. But the real goal, he says, is something much more personal and honestly, way more powerful.
So, here's how we're going to break this down. First, we'll look at what tarot is if it's not for telling fortunes. Then, we'll check out the anatomy of the deck itself. After that, we'll walk through how a reading actually begins. And finally, we'll get to the heart of it, what the cards are really trying to show you.
Okay, first things first, we have to completely reframe what this deck of cards is for. If it's not some kind of crystal ball for seeing the future, then what in the world is it? Well, according to our source material, it's a tool for talking to the part of you that already has all the answers.
Let's really dig into this idea of the true self. This isn't some spirit guide or an outside force. Case describes it as the superconscious part of your own mind. Think of it as the part of you that knows everything, past, present, and future. Because, in a way, it's the one writing the story of your life. The tarot, then, is just a way to get your everyday, conscious mind to listen in on that conversation.
So how does this communication even happen? It's all about pictures. The theory is that symbols and images are a kind of universal language that our subconscious mind gets instantly. You know, it's a language that's way older than words. We dream in pictures, we think in pictures. It's our native tongue.
The Hanged Man is a perfect example of this. When this card comes up, it's not some spooky prediction that something bad is going to happen. No way. It's more like a symbolic tap on the shoulder from your true self, saying, hey, you're looking at this all wrong. You're stuck. You need to flip your perspective upside down. See? It's all about a new point of view, not a prediction.
So how is this amazing communication tool actually put together? I get it, 78 cards can seem like a lot to learn, but it's actually a super organized system, and it's designed to cover pretty much the entire range of human experience.
When you boil it down, the deck is split into two main sections. You've got the 22 cards of the major arcana. These are the big picture, heavy hitters. And then you have the 56 cards of the minor arcana, which deal with all the nitty-gritty details of our day-to-day lives. Think of it like this. The major arcana, with cards like Justice here, are all about the major life lessons and big themes. You know, things like love, power, wisdom, and loss. Then the minor arcana, like this Eight of Pentacles showing a guy hard at work, is about the everyday situations, the specific thoughts, feelings, and events that make up those larger themes.
And that minor arcana is broken down even more into 4 suits, which are kind of like the suits in a regular deck of playing cards. According to Case, wands are about your work, your ideas, that's the element of fire. Cups are all about emotions, desires, hopes, that's water. Swords deal with action, challenges, conflict, that's air. And pentacles, well, they represent the physical world of stuff, money, possessions, that's earth. The big takeaway here is that this is a complete system.
All right, so you've got this highly structured deck. How does a reading, or maybe we should really call it a consultation, actually get started? The process Case lays out is very methodical. It's designed to be a really focused conversation you have with yourself. It all kicks off by personalizing the deck. A card called a signifier is picked out to represent the querent. That's just the fancy name for the person asking the question. This step is huge because it immediately makes the whole reading about that person and their specific energy.
And the first few steps are very deliberate. First, you really have to focus and formulate your question clearly in your mind. Then, as the cards are being shuffled, the idea is to mentally invoke or call on that true self for some real insight. And then, and this is so important, the querent, the person asking the question, is the one who physically cuts the deck.
You see what's happening here? Every single one of these steps is designed to take this out of the world of random luck. It's not about just pulling some cards and hoping for the best. It's about creating the right mental space to tap into your own deep knowledge and intuition. It's a totally structured dialogue.
Okay, so this brings us to the final and I think the most important part of all this. After rethinking the whole purpose of tarot, what's the actual payoff? When the cards are laid out, what do they really give you?
This right here is where the cards become a mirror. Just look at the visual similarities between the Lovers and the Devil cards. It's kind of stunning, right? Both have a man, a woman, and a big supernatural figure floating above them. The Lovers card symbolizes a beautiful, conscious choice and unity. But the Devil card, it shows bondage, being trapped by materialism, the consequences of bad choices. They're two sides of the exact same coin, mirroring back the nature of our own choices and attachments.
And that's the secret. The cards aren't telling you anything new, not really. They're using this universal language of symbols to give you a brand new lens, a different way to look at your own inner world, the problems you're wrestling with, the patterns you keep repeating, and most importantly, the incredible potential that you might be completely overlooking. So, in the end, the real power isn't in the cards at all, it's inside you. From this perspective, the tarot doesn't lock you into a fixed path. It just holds up a really honest mirror when you get to a crossroads. It reflects all the forces at play inside you and around you so you can see your options clearly. But the choice of which way to go, well, that's always up to you.